Hey, Dan Ashburn here, and here are my 5 predictions for Amazon sellers in 2021. Number 1, Amazon's surging growth is not going anywhere as human buying behaviors have now changed. This means it's getting more competitive, but the rewards are greater. Sellers are going to have to be more sophisticated in their marketing strategy, tactics, and logistics to compete. It's no longer about buying a product from China and putting it on Amazon. It's about building a brand and a sales channel, and FBA business owners need to be more agile in how they manage their businesses. Number 2, third-party brand-focused sellers will thrive as short-sighted product sellers will continue to fall off. Brand registry benefits are continuing to grow with the introduction of video in sponsored brands custom image, brand stories, A+ content, Amazon posts, and now Amazon Live Video. Amazon will also slow its pursuit of its own private label brands as Congress continue to pressure Amazon over their private label expansion. With the tide also turning and Amazon cracking down on black hat sellers and sellers abusing the platform, this presents a massive opportunity for third-party sellers focused on building a brand of products. Number 3, video will become a major conversion discovery medium on the platform. This includes the use of live video for selling, and apps like Comments Sold are already exploring this space, and we'll see this coming onto Amazon. Amazon is moving more towards the social shopping experience, and video is a big part of that. Sellers who take video seriously and use more sophisticated marketing to build their brand will dominate their categories. Number 4, Amazon advertising will continue to release better and more targeting options, more placements, and prioritize paid placements over organic results, including a major focus on video advertising. Sellers must use all available advertising channels provided by Amazon and understand their numbers in their business to confidently invest and acquire new customers. Number 5, as big retailers are forced to adopt Amazon as a serious sales channel, Amazon will be forced to provide better data insights and tracking through tools like Amazon Attribution. This is really good news for third-party sellers leveraging more sophisticated marketing, as targeted return on investment can be driven by that data attribution.
Oh yeah, it's 2021 and 2020 has gone. What's up guys, I am Chris Rawlings, 7-figure seller and Titan mentor, and 2021 is the year that not only are grannies now on Amazon thanks to COVID, but also Wall Street is on Amazon. Yes, Wall Street. What does that mean? Well, last year we saw for the first time Thrasio surpassed $1 billion valuation faster than any company in US history. For those of you that don't know, Thrasio is a company that acquires Amazon businesses to bundle them together for operational efficiency. And they are the fastest company ever to reach $1 billion valuation in our space, which means for you that Wall Street is now paying attention to you and paying attention to the Amazon seller space and Amazon e-commerce business space. Meaning valuations for Amazon businesses are going to go up. And that's why this is the year, this year and the year after, that valuations are going to be higher and higher and higher. It's going to be a seller's market, meaning people who want to sell Amazon businesses will have the upper hand and will have greater negotiating power. So use your time now, if you're already running an Amazon business, to bundle your business for sale. Make sure that it is sellable. And if you're not running an Amazon business yet, this is the perfect time to start. Have a great 2021.
Hey guys, Justin Dyson here with the Titan Network. I want to share with you guys a few things that I think we're going to see in 2021 and beyond. So first thing, we already kind of know this. However, I think what we're going to see over the next year, probably longer, is these ASIN level restrictions, these inventory limits, they're going to continue. I guess it started in September back in 2020. Right. So we've seen, because of COVID, that people are shopping online at a much faster pace than what they were prior to COVID because they've been forced to, essentially. And as a result, what we saw last year is Amazon and all the courier services, they got overwhelmed. And that's why we saw these ASIN level limits. That's why we saw, inventory restrictions, and Amazon keeps updating their terms on that. And I think we're going to see that continue moving forward. So how do we overcome this? Are we just going to put our business on hold? And wait and hope and pray that Amazon, turns things around? No. So first thing, you got to get a 3PL. You got to get some other service that is going to fulfill shipments for you. And one thing that we also learned because of COVID is that customers no longer cared as much about prime shipping as they used to. Maybe it's going to take 5 days to receive my order. Well, what that means is if you have two listings for every ASIN, you have an FBA listing and you have an FBM listing, which you fulfill yourself. And ideally, you're using a 3PL. Please do not fulfill things yourself. Do not package things and go to the post office. It's a poor use of your time. I've done it. It's not a good use. So what you can do, get your 3PL set up. And now you have an FBA listing. And if you've got a maximum of 200 units you can send in, well, guess what? You send in those 200 units. You also send some stock to that 3PL, the fulfillment facility that's not on Amazon. Doesn't matter if they can do 2-day. It's not going to be affordable for you to do 2-day or seller prime or seller fulfilled prime. That's not going to be a thing. So ignore that. It's too expensive. Remember, this is just a temporary thing. We're not trying to make this a long-term, fulfillment option. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up this 3PL. And when we're launching products, we're still going to, promote our FBA listing. That's going to be the primary source. And we're going to advertise to that one and everything. But when you inevitably run out, and you will run out, what you're going to end up doing is now you have this FBM listing that's still there. So instead of saying, I'm out of stock, can't launch anymore, got to wait, 3 months, screw that. We're going to sell through this FBM listing, which is much faster to get inventory to. And we don't have all the restrictions that Amazon has. Now, instead of running out of stock, we can at least keep selling. We can still improve our keyword rank. We can still get reviews, and we can continue launching products as normal. It will be a little bit more expensive. Take note of that. But your business is moving forward, and that's what we want to do. So, second prediction, a lot of investors are now looking outside of the stock market, looking outside of real estate into what's called alternative investments. If you're selling your business or looking to sell your business, what we're seeing is you're seeing a whole lot more private equity. You're seeing a lot more companies that are essentially rolling up businesses and then selling them as a package to these investors, both big and small, that want to get a bigger return on their money. That is something else I think we're going to see. And as a result, what's going to end up happening is it's just simple supply and demand, right? If the supply of businesses for sale stays the same, but the demand for those goes up, well, guess what? Now we can get a higher multiple. Instead of getting, 2, 3, 4x multiple, maybe that changes to 3, 4, 5. And as I said, too, there's also going to be a lot more opportunities to roll up your company with other companies, and then you sell those businesses as a collective. So those are my 2 predictions for the upcoming year and beyond. Look forward to working with you in the future.
Hey guys, Alicia Shapiro here. It is a new year and time for some brand new 2021 predictions for Amazon sellers. I have 3 predictions this year. First, if 2020 taught us anything, it is that we need to be prepared. The challenges that we faced, especially around logistics and storage, were endless. It forced sellers to find alternate ways of shipping and storing their products, which is a really huge pain point for so many people. However, I predict that one silver lining in this is that now that so many sellers have set up 3PL and FBM options, that this is going to actually open the door to sellers looking at other platforms and diversifying their sales channels. One of the biggest obstacles of setting up other sales channels in the past was that all of our stock was at Amazon. So with a 3PL already set up, it decreases the friction that normally exists and makes selling on other sales channels more accessible than ever before. And I think this is particularly true for Walmart because of their native integration with Shopify. Now, although I still think that the majority of our efforts and sales will remain on Amazon this year, I predict that more and more sellers will start to diversify their sales channels in 2021. Now, my second prediction is that savvy sellers are going to continue the trend of 2020 and do fewer Me Too products. Instead, they're going to focus on innovative designs. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about any great new invention or designing like the next best thing to compete with an iPhone or anything like that. But I do think that these savvy sellers are going to continue to think outside the box, and they're going to go all in on really understanding their customer and coming up with new designs that will disrupt the current marketplace moving forward. Now, my third and final prediction is connected to this new push for innovation. As the market matures, sellers are becoming much more savvy about selling and about business in general. As they start to create these new product designs, we're going to see sellers moving to protect their IP with copyright, trademarks, and especially patents. As Amazon gets better at protecting our intellectual property, sellers will continue to capitalize on that protection by spending the time and the resources in legally protecting their products, images, and all aspects of their work. Okay, guys, those are some of my predictions for 2021. I, for one, will be very, very glad to see 2020 come to an end. Like, bye-bye 2020.
Hey guys, so just wanted to talk about a couple of things I think are going to be coming in 2021 in regards to your Amazon business. Number one, we're already starting to see ASIN limits on inbound inventory change over from an ASIN level limitation to a account-based limitation based on your IPI score. I've heard this directly from Amazon leadership that this is the direction they're going to be going, which ties into the thing I really wanted to talk about, which is I think Amazon, which they've already been doing a great job of investing in infrastructure for supply chain. I think they're going to press that further and further in 2021. I think that's going to become a major point of emphasis, especially with everything that's happened in 2020, driving e-commerce sales through the roof and accelerating that growth beyond their capacity. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of things like Amazon Global Logistics, which they're pushing harder and harder. Basically, they will help bring goods in directly from your supplier, like a freight forwarder, directly to one fulfillment center. So you can actually bypass these split shipments where it goes to 2 or 3 different fulfillment centers. And you can actually route things into one fulfillment center. The key to that is you cannot have oversized and standard sized goods mixed and commingled into the same container. You can book any of them directly into one fulfillment center and have a little bit more control of that process. The other benefits of Amazon Global Logistics are you're going to see faster quotes and better pricing, as well as improve the trackability of our shipments. For anybody who's used Flexport, they have an amazing interface where you can track all of the communications and all of the steps in which your cargo and freight are moving. But anybody who's using traditional freight forwarders, that option's not always there. Now, there are some limitations with Amazon Global Logistics. They will not currently split those shipments to a third-party warehouse, for instance. It has to be 100% going into Amazon, but you get a lot of pros and a lot of benefits from going directly with them. The other thing that they do is they will remove ASIN level and even seller level limitations if there's enough data to support a higher increase of volume to be shipped in. So if you have 1,000 units, but you're limited to 200 units and you have enough data to justify that, like long lead times, right? Sales data that backs up that ASIN or similar ASINs, then you can petition them and submit a request for one-time exceptions, and they do that for sellers. So you're going to get a lot of support from them. So they're going to keep investing in these types of programs. They're also, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they have been beta testing an entire 3PL network. They're trying to gather more data into the needs of sellers. And this is all pre-COVID. They've been doing this. A couple of reasons they're looking at doing this. Number one, they're Amazon. They want control of the process. And then number two, they're able to negotiate on our behalf and actually give us better pricing so that we don't have inflated Q4 storage costs. We would still have inflated Q4 storage costs for what's at Amazon, but you don't have to put all of your inventory there. You can utilize their network of 3PLs. And then with COVID, we've seen 3PLs become a necessity for most sellers anyways. So you're going to see them heavily investing in this 3PL network and building out an infrastructure for that service so that it's non-prime real estate, lower cost of storage, right, and fulfillment, and then they will actually inside Seller Central allow us to restock Seller Central directly from their own network of 3PLs. And then the other thing is something that I'm involved with in another business venture is last mile delivery. So you're going to see more and more infrastructure poured in and more investments into middle and last mile deliveries. So basically any area where Amazon can improve the experience for the customers. They are focused heavily on trying to improve that experience. That's Amazon's core value. You're going to see a big investment push to continue to deepen their strength in the supply chain. I've even heard some crazy predictions and rumors that they may even control one of the ports so that they have, even more control. Again, if it leads to better experience for the customers and improving the process of keeping things in stock and having more control, Amazon's going to be investing in that in regards to the supply chain. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and excited to get into 2021 as we wrap up a pretty crazy year of 2020. So all the best and Happy New Year to everybody, and we'll see you in 2021.
Hey guys, Andrew Erickson here. I'm going to talk about my predictions for 2021. So my first prediction is that Amazon is going to grow like crazy. They always grow like crazy. I think this is an easy prediction, but more specifically, they had a huge growth this year due to COVID. Obviously, the stay-at-home orders and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to have stuff delivered to your front door than to go into the store and be around other people. And so that growth, Amazon's going to maintain that growth. That not that people are going to like unsubscribe from Prime, right? So they're going to maintain that growth, and they're only going to get bigger. Related prediction to that, Walmart will see the same. They also saw the same kind of growth, and they're going to continue to see the same growth. Walmart right now, as far as we can tell, is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1/5 the size of Amazon. It's becoming a real player now. So you would, if you're going to think about expanding into markets, Walmart is definitely a really good place to look into for sure. It's a little bit more virgin territory too. So there's some interesting things you can do on Walmart. The next thing I have, I'm actually really excited about this one. Amazon businesses or private label businesses will be consolidated. Consolidated is when you bring all the businesses together, right? There is some big money coming into the space. There's some Wall Street money. There are large investors. There are billions of dollars, yes, billions with a B, coming in to buy up little businesses like yours and mine. So it's really important, if you can, get your business up to that like $1 million a year mark, million revenue, and consider exiting very soon. The multiples right now are going up. So that means that for the same business this year versus 3 years ago, you just get more money for it. You can just sell for more. My fourth prediction, the travel economy will rebound slowly. I know a lot of people were hurt really bad who have private labels in the travel economy, backpacks, camping gear, passport holders, all sorts of like little things, suitcases, all sorts of little travel things. There's a lot of people in the private label space that do that kind of product. That economy will rebound, but it's not going to shoot up like crazy. It's going to come up slowly. And again, it's going to be directly proportional to the number of vaccines administered. Next prediction, Chinese New Year is going to be long and more impactful this year than previous years. It's always long. It always feels like forever. We come to February and I'm like, oh my God, why do they take so long off? This year, Chinese New Year is going to be extra long. There are some talks about China kind of doing like sort of segmented travel. So it's just going to affect more stuff this year. So get your orders in now, or at least plan for potentially working around a longer Chinese New Year. Related note to that, logistics and check-in time is still going to suck in Q1 and probably Q2. But my sub-prediction to that is that it's going to get better mid-year. Capitalism has this beautiful thing where it figures out a supply and demand issue, and capitalism will fix it eventually, I hope. Who knows what Q4 is going to look like, the Christmas season this coming year, but it will. But I do predict that, after Chinese New Year, so we're talking April, May, June, it's going to get a lot better. Related to that, ASIN limits will slowly go away. We've been hit with that pretty bad this Q4, but every year we've seen some type of limit on either new sellers or new products or new whatevers at Amazon. We've seen that every single year I've been in the industry, and it always goes away like the first week of January. It's just that Christmas time that we get those limits. However, I think the IPI score is probably here to stay for a while. The IPI score is it's like a metric that they give you where you have to hit a certain performance level to get a certain number of stock inside of Amazon. And so that score thingy it's going to stay here for a while, I think. So it is related to that, is crucial that you use a 3PL warehouse. A 3PL is a third-party logistics warehouse, so it's like an extra little warehouse that you just put your stuff in while you wait to send it to Amazon. So if you can find one of those, use them and make them a big part of your strategy going forward. My next prediction is Amazon will take even more control of its customers. We've seen this year over year. It's constantly pulling more and more control away from us sellers, especially as it relates to the customers. So the customer email platform is going to go away. It's already mostly away. This is my prediction last year too, and I was spot on with it all kind of like going away. It's going to go away even more. I don't know how much more they can pull away, but they're going to find more places to get rid of it. It takes a lot of control away from us, which as a small business owner, I dislike that. I like being in control of things. Facebook and Google are currently facing antitrust lawsuits, and Amazon's going to see it very soon too. This last year, Congress brought the big tech companies, Facebook and Google and Amazon and some other ones too, and they really grilled them on all sorts of different things on basically being anti-competitive. Something like 35 states and the federal government has brought a lawsuit against Facebook for antitrust, for basically buying up all its competitors, and they're potentially going to break it up. It's going to be a really big deal in that part of the industry. I think Amazon might see that same kind of breakup, or not necessarily a breakup, but they're going to face antitrust lawsuits. That's a prediction. What does this mean to us, though? I think this is really good for us sellers. Hopefully, it will force Amazon to be less suspension happy and overall give us sellers a more equal chance on their platform. Like AT&T and Standard Oil got broken up. They did great afterwards, right? They turned into different platforms, and they're all very large, successful companies today. So I can see something like that coming about, and Amazon, of course, is going to try and prevent that. So they're going to hopefully be less anti-competitive. So that's a big prediction for this year. The last prediction I have, Amazon private label will still be one of the best places for an individual to start and grow a business. I'm still super bullish on this whole industry, this whole business, everything, even though we've had a lot of issues this last year with COVID and lockdowns and everything else. There's always going to be stuff in the future that's going to get in the way of a clear path to success. But this business still works really well. Compared to other businesses, it doesn't take $250,000. It doesn't take $2 million to invest in a brick and mortar store, to invest in 45 employees. You can have a successful Amazon business, and you can literally run it from your bedroom, from your living room. You can do it in your off hours. You can do it on the weekends, and you can have a successful business that will grow and really bring you true freedom and true prosperity. So I am still so bullish. Number one prediction, still a great place to start and grow a business.
What's up, guys? Brendan here. I'm going to give you my 2021 Amazon predictions. Most of them will be around the marketing space. I do like to do the keyword research, PPC, things like that. And so we'll get right into it. My first prediction is going to be that Amazon really expands their video placement ads. I think they do this because they love the click-through rate. They love the information you can get from a video. Amazon does know that people are more visual. People would rather consume information via video versus clicking on a listing, reading through the bullet points, seeing every single image. It cuts down the time to educate a customer to make a buying decision. So I do think that they double down on video, and I think that they find better ways for it to show up on the platform, whether it be header ads, maybe the display ads, or they'll find areas like they do post-purchase, pre-purchase. I think that they'll scheme up some way to have videos more present and taking up more space on the platform overall. The second point, kind of the same area. I think zooming out even further, I think that they really expand all of their ad placements, display ads, anything like that. They're going to try to take up more real estate and try to take up more areas for you to click. And they're really going to optimize that in certain ways. But then they're also going to expand, I think, different granularities of ways that you can connect with the customer. They've already done that in a lot of ways this last year, where they allow you to do sort of anybody that's clicked on your listing, anybody that's sort of shopped, your competitors, things like that. I think they open up more options to get more granular on how to connect with your customer, and they expand that area as well. I think they also look at listing optimization. They've come out with some tools that aren't quite honed in. I don't know that they have the specific intent of what you're trying to do as an Amazon seller or a third-party seller, but I do think that they expand some of their tool sets. I don't know that they'll ever reach the level of capability of some of these third-party tools like Titan, like Helium 10, like any of these guys out there. But I do think that they try to help cut down some of the timeline. They try to give you insights like they have with brand analytics, like they have with some of these customer service dashboards and things like that. I do think that they build out their tool suite to be a little more comprehensive. I don't know that it gets you there and you're going to be able to run a full 7-figure, 8-figure business based on their tool set. But I do think that they try to help a little more, give you a little bit more clarity, especially on the feedback, on customer service, and on optimization overall. And the last thing I have is I think that they increase the number of categories or the types of categories that are within each subcategory. This last year, many of us had issues with Amazon randomly changing our category, throwing us into the most random things because the algorithm picked up some little indicator, maybe a word, maybe a phrase, maybe a picture. We don't really know, but a lot of us figured out over many tickets submitted, but a lot of us were really in the dark, but we were able to switch it back, and we constantly have that cycle problem where they keep changing our listing. We don't really have much control. I think Amazon tries to nip that in the bud by creating more granular categories, more specific categories based on what the product actually is versus less, and doesn't let you go into the accessory based categories, doesn't let you go into the very broad based categories. So I think that they're going to do that to help free up some of the issues that have been caused and maybe give you more of that control back so you can have a little bit more success on the keywords you want to target and on the specific competitors and overall market that you want to target. So those are my predictions for 2021. Let's see if they come to fruition. I know the other guys have some really good predictions, so check those out as well, and I'll see you on the other side. Later, guys.
My prediction for 2021 is that building a brand is now more important than ever. We've always talked about choosing a customer avatar and building a strong brand around that customer and releasing a suite of products to serve them, rather than just launching random stuff. I believe this to be more important than ever, especially coming into 2021. And I believe that Amazon are finally realizing it with all the new feature releases. Storefront analytics is a lot better than it used to be. We've got storefront ads when we can send people directly to the storefront page rather than particular products. We've got features like brand story and able to cross-sell other products from our brand in our A+ content. There are a lot more people competing on Amazon and sellers are getting better tactically, but Amazon are leveling the playing field and they're stopping foul play and hacks to jump to the top of the page and benefit. So we can see that through clamping down on review manipulation, through limiting follow-up emails. They're protecting us from hijackers with a transparency program, and they're stopping price gouging. We're losing the buy box if we hike our prices up too quickly. So with that said, we need to stand out and be seen. I spoke about this last year, but there used to be a stat that said the average customer consumes 6 to 8 pieces of content before making a buying decision. Think with Google did a blog post about this and stated that they found it to be closer to 20. With what's gone on in 2020, I believe that could be a lot more than 20 touch points before people make a buying decision. What we really want to focus on now is real estate on the page to get those touch points in. And Amazon have given us the tools to do so. We've got the headline search ads. We've got editorial recommendations. We've got our sponsored ads. We've got storefront ads. And a big one for me is video ads. We've seen this across the internet. People are engaging better with video. And we're all being programmed to watch video rather than read articles. And what we're seeing is that video ads are converting really well, especially when they're around 20 to 23 seconds long. And it's not just on the search page. On the listing as well, we've got A+ content. They're allowing us to cross-sell, like we mentioned earlier. We've got the brand story. We've got frequently bought together. Customers also bought. Sponsored products similar to this product. And product targeting ads to go onto other people's listings. Protect yourself by having your other products on your page in the product targeting area, and promote yours on other pages to try and take sales from other people. A quick tip on product targeting ads. During launch, we always use these to help us gain traction. And we've seen that through testing across a lot of different launches, that by having that product targeting ad on somebody else's listing and taking sales from there, we've seen the ranking, Amazon give us more ranking love. And we have it on good authority that Amazon give more ranking love to people who win a click and a sale through a product targeting ad, or by going through various pages before making a buying decision on your product. And that would make sense, because if somebody clicks through onto a listing and then decides they don't want to buy that product, and then they click through onto another listing and they decide they do want to buy that product, Amazon's going to hold that second product in higher regard than they did on the first one. So something that we like to do is to sort of guarantee that, or at least give us the confidence that we're going to win that click and potentially convert it, is that using the sales volume softwares, we order by review rating. And if somebody's still making sales but with a lower review rating, maybe 3 stars, 3.5 stars, and we've got 5 stars, and maybe a lower price and a better image, we believe that by putting our product on that page, we can win the click and then convert them. And we're seeing that gives us some more ranking love. So back to real estate on the page. We have all these places we can place our brand on Amazon, and I see so many people not using them. So we must have a good brand. We must show up in a lot of places, and we must have very good content. So we need images that are going to win the click over our competitors. We need copy and images to convert. We need video to engage them and hook them in. So my advice for 2021 would be to really invest in good content, in copy, images, video, storefronts, A+ content. It all needs to be great. And once again, we have to stand out. So a tip for getting great content at a positive ROI is use influencers or micro-influencers. What we tend to do is give free product to influencers and sometimes a fee as well. And they take photos, videos, they do reviews and allow you to reuse it across our website, across our Amazon listings, across our own social media. They also post on their own social media where your target customer is hanging out. And from there, we'll gain their followers so that we can market to them in the future. We also give them a discount code for their followers so you get immediate sales to cover the cost of the free product and the fee that we might have paid. And then coming back to what we're talking about, touch points, we're also creating that social proof. And it's creating more and more touch points to convince people to take action to buy your product.